Imagine two people standing at the exact same starting line. They share the same environment, have zero money, and zero connections. On paper, they have the same chance at success. 10 years later, their paths couldn't be more different. While one person's trajectory flatlines at zero, the other person's line curves upward, accelerating as they build wealth. When we see this gap, we usually assume the successful person was lucky or that some perfect opportunity happened to find them. But looking at the data, we find that escaping zero is rarely about the environment. It is driven by a divergence in internal mental patterns that dictate how a person responds to their surroundings. If we don't recognize these hidden psychological shifts, it becomes nearly impossible to move. We remain passive observers of our own circumstances. Behavioral science shows that it is incredibly difficult to act in a way that contradicts how you see yourself. This is why the first step is often the most difficult: severing your psychological identification with being poor. When someone internalizes a phrase like, "people like me never succeed," they create a cognitive ceiling. The brain will filter out opportunities and habits that don't fit that limited self-image. Those who rise from zero tend to reconstruct their internal narrative first. They change how they view their own potential, while their physical environment is still unchanged. When a person tries to build wealth without shifting their identity, they often face a psychological mismatch. The brain may trigger self-sabotaging behaviors to resolve that conflict, pulling them back toward the life they're used to. Once that identity is set, the next challenge is overriding the biological defaults that keep us seeking immediate comfort. We are naturally hardwired to prioritize immediate pleasure to soothe short-term discomfort. Most get caught in this short-term loop, spending today for comfort. Escaping requires the linear path of delayed gratification. But emotional interference, fear, rejection, hits that path daily as jagged vectors. Overwhelmed, they abandon the path, routing back into the safe cycle, staying at zero. The difference is that wealth builders don't wait for those negative emotions to go away. They experience the fear and the rejection, but they don't let those feelings change their physical actions. This consistency is what allows them to keep moving during the months or years when others decide the effort isn't worth the emotional cost. Ultimately, the capacity to tolerate that friction is the behavioral filter that determines who builds wealth and who stays stuck. Moving from internal control to external results means entering a market that is chaotic and unpredictable. The human brain naturally craves safety. It wants a guarantee that if we take a risk, it will definitely pay off. Those who succeed from zero have learned to act before certainty exists. They accept that the outcome is unknown and proceed anyway. While some focus on looking successful through status symbols, the effective path is focused on acquiring invisible skills. Skills are what generate opportunities, and over time, those opportunities are what generate capital. When you prioritize growth and capability over how you appear to others, you gain the tools necessary to extract value from an uncertain world. It's a strange reality. The behaviors required to build wealth run directly against our natural biological urges. Our brains want safety, status, and immediate comfort, but those are the very things that anchor us to the bottom. Chasing shiny objects and heavy crowns usually means missing the tools that actually lead to freedom. Wealth is rarely the result of a single event. It's a lagging indicator, the evidence of a person's underlying mental habits. Building something from nothing is a series of internal choices to stay consistent when it's uncomfortable and to prioritize the future over the present. When we look at that exponential growth line again, it stops looking like luck. Escaping zero becomes the logical result of specific, disciplined behaviors that anyone can start to adopt.